In this first episode, we will first discover what social innovation is, then discuss about the design thinking process, as well as its advantages and its different steps. To begin, what is a social innovation? Within the framework of Article 15 of the French law on the social and solidarity economy of July 31st, 2014, a social innovation is a project undertook by one or several entities to offer a product or a service to assess several needs. These needs are either social needs that are not satisfied or social needs that are already assessed but not well addressed in terms of optimization. Thus, a social innovation responds to a social or environmental needs that neither public policies nor the products and services offered on the market can meet effectively today. The intensity of the innovation differs from one perspective to another. We distinguish two different types of innovation. The first is said to be radical or disruptive. This means that the service at the birth of the innovation is brand new and did not exist previously. For example, the platform Apple Pay, which is revolutionizing the bank transaction services where the user can use his smartphone as a wallet without holding physically his credit card. On the other hand, the innovation could be incremental. The innovation will optimize an already existing procedure by adding functional features. For instance, the 100% renewable energy producer Enercop, which is a French actor, has set up the Solidarity Energy Endowment Fund, which offers energy access solutions to each household to alleviate energy insecurity. But now, how can we evaluate the viability of an innovation before working on it properly on the field? For this, you must ask yourself four main questions that will determine your next steps. First, is the project a solution to an unwell satisfied need? Second, is the project experimental and entails risk? Third, will the project lead to positive changes? And fourth, will the project integrate the principal actors? The answers to these four questions will determine the next steps you should adopt to successfully implement the innovative project. Let's move now on to the design. By definition, the word design would refer to anything that will look beautiful, elegant, decorative, or on a broader perspective, something that have a good-looking aesthetic. In that matter, we attribute this qualifier to the tangible world that surrounds us. That is everything that is material and not fictitious. This first definition of design can nevertheless lead to a double misunderstanding. First, design should not be limited to visual aesthetics, discussing the beauty of shapes, colors, or ornaments. On the contrary, design is also about aligning the useful with the pleasurable and not making any dissociation between the primary function that a certain object occupies and its external appearance. In other words, design is not a purely aesthetic aspect, but should accompany the object throughout the entire creative process, from the emergence of the idea to the material realization of the project, or the product, or the service. Also, second, design has become a common qualifier nowadays. We now speak about strategic design, service design, or social design. Design is no longer a simple objective, but a discipline that is implemented in various fields to respond to the needs as they emerge in an increasingly innovative way. The design is a methodology to solve various issues that will drive innovation, develop successful solutions, and contribute to enhance our lifestyle quality. Let's look to an example on homelessness. The social and environmental crisis, as well as the humanitarian and climate catastrophes, are the root causes of the increase of the number of people homeless and/or who live in terrible conditions. Hence, a lot of solutions were applied, like for example, camp beds in gymnasiums. Unfortunately, these solutions are not sustainable enough to fight against homelessness. This is why the organization Emmaüs Solidarité and the design agency 100 Degrés launched in France in 2020 movable homes to humanize the temporary accommodation of homeless people. This project, named Le Toit, this is a plain word with the roof and you, since it is the same word and same pronunciation in France. This is a solution that offers movable houses composed of beds, shelves, and of course a roof, to contribute to people's privacy, dignity, and security. These houses that aims to elevate the accommodation conditions of homeless people offer the comfort that will respond to the need that we discussed. The conception of a project that truly responds to the needs of the people for whom it is intended is based on a three-step process specific to the design approach. In order to optimize the project's integration into society, it is necessary to link social, humanitarian, and innovative aspects, which is a crucial point of the process. First, the immersion phase. From the ethnographic practices, the immersion helps in understanding the extent of the problem and the situation to which the problem is associated to effectively. The immersion allows you to have a first opinion on the context, but also to be able to delimit the perimeter in which the problem is posed and in which the answer will have to be designed. The task is quite simple. Spend time in the field, pay great attention, listen, and finally blend into the background. Observation is the key word in these moments of immersion and inspiration. Of course, it's not enough to be physically present and contemplate the surroundings. This phase is clearly one of identifying needs in order to be able to propose a practical and adapted solution to the problem at hand. After these observations, and to fully understand the situations and the needs, one-to-one interviews might be carried out. The designer and the team's project will have enough information to constitute a proper response. The next step, second step, is ideation. After the observation phase in the field, it is time to propose possible solutions. The ideation is the moment to structure a strategic approach in order to answer the observed needs. To do this, in-depth discussions on the issue to be addressed in order to take into account the data and information collected due to the observation of phase 1 are organized during this second step. Indeed, the value of the ideas is greater as the contributors are of diverse backgrounds. It is the participation of contributors from different origins, such as ethnologists, sociologists, users, service designers, marketers, that makes the process rich and allows to converge towards the solution adapted to the need. Thus, we speak of a double diamond, a first stage made up of episodes of inspiration and exploration without preconceived ideas, then a second stage of ideation and iteration that will allow us to converge towards exploitable solutions adapted to the problem. Finally, the third phase, the implementation phase. It is precisely during this stage that forces us to confront and conform to reality. It is during the experimentation phase that the design of the products or the service will take place. This is called prototyping. The goal is not to design an exceptional, perfect product that is perfectly adapted at the very first attempt. It is, in fact, a back and forth process to the field that will allow the validation of the concept to be retained. These successive iterations are the process and the means to refine the usefulness and use of the product. The prototype is made available to users, and it is the reactions and observations of these first users that will lead to certain modifications and allow the solution to be finalized. It is by giving ourselves the means to evaluate the experiments that we can determine the quality of the solution, modify it, or even abandon it if it's necessary. Let's go back to the example of the modular houses in Emmaüs Solidarity's Le Toit project. After the first two stages of design thinking, it was time for experimentation. This humanization device for temporary accommodation was tested in the premises of the former town hall of the 4th arrondissement of Paris. The positive reactions of the test users validated the prototype developed by the designers. The occupants validated the privacy and comfort provided by these modular houses, which led to the installation of 130 additional accommodation places in several other places in France.